Hello, my beautiful beings. How are you? Just wanted to come with a quick discussion about cycles in life. Um, we all have our ups and downs. Um, and I just wanted to come to say that there is great healing in the acceptance of the ups and downs that we have in life. Um, Without the negative things, we don't test ourselves and we don't improve in our perception of things or our beliefs behind things when they are not tested. And to me, those are what the negative things, the downs in life, do for us. You know, I remember hearing Lauryn Hill speak, and she said that life is full of valleys and something else. And that the highs are when we master certain things in life, and that the lows are when we are tested on the things that we have thought to master. One thing about the healing journey is it's never over. It's ongoing. You don't master yourself and then you're just done, because you continue to grow through things. There are so many different lessons in life, so many different avenues of learning, that it's a continuous thing. And so, with that being said, there is great healing and acceptance of those cycles. For example, I went through a situation about 3 years ago, and the first thing that it taught me was that it's okay to choose myself. Competition is a good thing, but only in the sense of if you're looking at it to improve yourself, not to be better than the next person. So when I went through the situation, I had to learn to use that competition not to compete with the next person over getting chosen, but to compete with myself and just be a better version of myself. Not to be chosen, but in choosing myself. I learned that choosing myself allowed me to compete with myself to become a better version of myself. And with the acceptance of going through that situation and allowing it to happen, I was able to heal that belief system behind whether my value was in a man choosing me or if it was in me choosing me. And I was able to heal through that. I got so much out of that. So in accepting going through that cycle of life, I was able to break free from it, because now moving forward, I don't have to battle with myself on if I'm worthy enough for somebody. I was able to heal that thought process through accepting that I can always choose myself and there's value in that. And so I went through a high. I was on top of a mountain because I finally realized the competition is not with the next person. The competition is with me and my perception and my beliefs around what value is and where it comes from. And so maybe like a year later, I was faced with that same situation, just with different people. And again, this is a cycle, right? Because it's the same thing. Only difference was I had a little bit more knowledge. I had a little bit more wisdom when it came to my value and where that comes from. So when I was faced with this situation again, I was able to walk away from it and knowing that my value did not come from being chosen by another person, but my value came from choosing whether that person was even right for me, right? And whether or not I even wanted that person to even truly choose me. Because now I have a sense of what my real value and worth was. And so through accepting that situation, I was able to heal from that and walk away completely from thinking about whether or not that man chose me, and whether or not that man was even right for me to even be choosing me. And I was able to heal myself through accepting how and what I deserved. And so I hear a lot of us, where it's a karmic cycle, right? And so what my thoughts behind karma is what you create. Karma is a buildup of the decisions that you make. And so these karmic cycles that I was going through was based on what I was creating off of an unhealed version of me. I was continuing to repeat a cycle with a certain energy that at the end of the day really didn't deserve me. And let me say that in a different way, because I'm not gonna say that they didn't deserve me. They just didn't value me. And so because they didn't see the same value as I saw in myself, I felt I deserved better. I can't, we can't determine what somebody else deserves. The only thing that we can determine is what we deserve and what we desire to create. And so, through going through those cycles and accepting those cycles, accepting what I had to go through, accepting having to deal with those energies and dealing with that process instead of running away from it, or instead of not seeing it for what it was and accepting it, I was able to heal myself and to vibrate higher and to know better for myself. And to know what I was investing my energy into. Because the decisions that you make, the choices that you make, you're making an investment into that when it comes to your energy. So acceptance is not the same thing as investing. Acceptance is allowing. Acceptance is trusting. Acceptance is processing. And I remember watching a movie where it says faith is the process. Sometimes things come to us because we're meant to deal with it, to learn from it. These cycles that we endure are here to teach us lessons. And so we have to accept those lessons so that we can go through it. You can't go under it, you can't go above it, you gotta go through it, okay? So I see a lot of us saying when things come back to us, we don't want to deal with it, we're so over it. When things come back to you, it's a test. These cycles are meant as tests. You know how you go through school and you learn something and you know at the end you're tested? So going back to that that example that I had, when that boy did me how he did me, right? For a while after, I didn't want to accept that he left. I didn't want to accept that he ghosted me. I didn't want to accept that he moved on. But, and I kept reaching out. I did. I was reaching out. I was begging that man to talk to me. But it didn't settle in until I accepted that it was over. And when I accepted that it was over, that is when I was truly able to process what really happened. You know, I was really able to process why it happened. You know what I mean? When things happen to us, it brings about pain. And we have to, in order for us to actually learn the lesson, we have to process that pain and why it happened. Not be so down on ourselves and to think of ourselves unworthy, but what is it showing us? You know what I mean? So after begging him for so long, you know, I had to ask myself, Michaela, why are you begging this man to talk to you? What is it about you that wants somebody who did you like that to talk to you. And so when I started to ask those questions to myself, I was able to answer them. You know, what is it? You know, did I not love myself enough to know that if this man truly valued me, I wouldn't have to beg him to talk to me? To understand that if this man really wanted to be in my life, he would be in my life if he wanted to. So I had to go through that process of allowing that pain to sink in and to understand that pain, to really know that I deserved better for myself. And it wasn't until after that that I was able to work on the foundation of myself, to work on what I truly knew that I deserved. And it wasn't until I truly knew that I deserved that I could actually define more of what I wanted in life. Because without knowing what I deserve, I was willing to settle for anything. I was willing to want anything. And I know for one, I think that's a huge cycle that a lot of us go through. And when that man came back, that's what I was going to say, the cycles. Because when he let me go, I wanted him to come back, baby. I was like, where you at? Where you at? But, you know, it wasn't until 2 years later that I went, after I had processed it, after I had, you know, and I waited, even after I processed it and knew that I deserved better and knew that I wanted better, you know, I still wanted him to come back around because I thought and gave him the benefit of the doubt of he was just in a space of that's what he needed. That's what he needed to learn. He needed to learn a lesson through that. He needed to, you know, I was still in some way, shape, or form not truly accepting who he was and why he did it. And it wasn't until he came back around 2 years later that I was able to accept that, hey, that's just who he that's just who he is. And I was able to clear that out for myself and to step outside of that cycle for myself and to know that it doesn't matter who he is, that I deserve better. And that I want better. And that if he still couldn't value me after all this time, that's not something that I want. And I was able to let go of him in my mind, and holding the vision that of who I thought he was. I was able to let that go. Granted, in the midst of me going through that, I got caught up in another goddamn cycle. But that's neither here or there. We'll talk about that when that closes out. Because although I know I deserve better, I'm still caught up in the mindset of not believing people, not seeing people for who they are the first time they show me. that's something that I'm learning and working on accepting, because in the first situation, I was able to get out of the cycle of not knowing my worth. I was able to figure out my value. I was able to tell myself that I am enough. But in getting out of that cycle, I still held a vision of this man in my head. So although I knew who I was, I didn't know who he was. And I got caught in that cycle again with another person. So although I was able to let him go because I knew my worth, I was not able to let go of the pattern I put myself in of not seeing people for who they are the first time they show me. And this time, I'm not gonna wait on somebody to come back around for me to see who they are. This is a chance for me to accept. When people show you their true colors, believe them. And to not waste any time on somebody showing me that again. And so I just wanted to come and share that with you all, just for you to be mindful of the cycles that you put yourself in, and to work through accepting the patterns. You watch the patterns that you hold yourself in your mind. Watch the patterns, because for so long I was held in a pattern of begging men to see me. But through accepting that, I was able to heal and see myself. But now I'm seeing the pattern of when people show you their true colors, believe them. I'm still choosing to see the best in people when they show me who they are and how they choose to operate. It's not about me wanting the best for people, but about accepting that people have to see the best in themselves first. Don't matter how long I hold the vision or idea of them in my head. At the end of the day, they're gonna be who they are, whether it's 2 years later or 5 years later. But why do I have to hold space for them and my energy while they continue to be who they are? So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what Spirit wanted me to tell you all today, and to share with you all today. And so I did. Cycles came out. Acceptance came out. And healer came out. I asked Spirit what they wanted me to share with y'all, because I'm trying to get on my, do my thing and be transparent with you all about my journey again. And just everything. I'm ready to walk my path. And again, I was ready and willing then, but I went through so much, y'all. Like, stuff hit hard so quick when I first started my channel. And I'm grateful that I did step back and allow myself to go through what I went through, because now I feel I can get on here and fully know who I am, because I've been tested and tried. And I know that I'm going to continue to go through cycles. I know that I'm going to continue to be tested and tried. But in this way, I am more confident in myself and what I'm capable of. So yes, I just wanted to share that with you all. I love y'all. Be light. Stay bright. And do the inner work. They say the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. So keep walking towards that light at the end of the tunnel, because that light is you. Love you.